Hi, I'm Martin McGrath from Financial Edge Group. Today I want to talk about a case study of a recent client we helped. We're financial planners based on the Central Coast that specialise in helping people get themselves set up for retirement. We've been working with this client for a little while now. She's recently come to us and she's received an inheritance. Her mother passed away and that's drastically changed her financial position. So I won't go through all details and everyone's situation is different, but to give you a bit of an idea of the framework and the stuff that we can help people do, I think this is a good case study to talk through. So she's single, 62, received an inheritance from her mum, and that inheritance came in two major parts. A significant amount of cash that she's helped kind of set herself up with home and that side of things, but with some money left over. And in addition to that, a sizable share portfolio that her mum had had for many, many years. Probably hadn't really been looked after for a while. There's some shares in there that were good. There's some shares that weren't so good. And she kind of wasn't very experienced with managing shares and looking after that. So we sat down and took her through our framework and our process to make sure that what her focus and her needs were was sorted, but also overlaying our expertise. And so a few things we identified to help her do is to make sure that all the money she needed for home improvements, clearing debt was all sorted, and that was covered. And put money aside to a bank account to make sure there was enough money there to cover that for her. Importantly though, she was in a position where she wasn't sure if she wanted to keep working and the situation had changed. So it was about making sure that money could also come in and provide for her retirement and her living needs. But also making sure that we tidied up and maximised that position. That what we identified is that her mum's situation was a bit different, but basically mum was paying over $20,000 a year in tax from the income from that portfolio. Our client's situation was different because she is in her 60s. She can still contribute to super. And that was the first major thing we did, is we're actually able to move about $400,000 worth of those shares in cash into super. This particular type of contributions we did to maximize that. But what that does, it took her out of her personal name into the super fund environment. Because she's aged over 60, she can actually access that money and get it back. And in fact, we're taking out a regular amount per fortnight for her to live off out of that super account. But what we've also done is it's taken out of her personal taxable name into a tax-free super environment. So what that meant is that already reduced about $8,000 to $9,000 of tax that she would have been paying that her mum previously was. That's not the end of it though. We figured out that between now and when she turns 75, because in her case she can contribute all the way up to 75, we can actually move most, if not all, of the rest of the shares and cash into super where applicable. We don't have to, but on the assumption that she doesn't need that and she wants to live off the income, it would make sense for her, and importantly also her future generations, to make that as tax efficient as possible. And so that's what we've mapped out. And basically we've kind of already halved that tax bill straight away, and every year we're going to chip away at that, and I'm confident within 10 years she won't be paying any tax on those dividends, completely eliminating that tax in her situation. So that was about $20,000 a year in tax that she was paying. Let's say she lives for another 30 years or thereabouts, 20 times 30, that's $600,000 in tax that we've helped her save personally, potentially by setting this up the right way, and importantly, also reduced or eliminated the tax that the next generations might pay on that money. She's got the peace of mind that things are set up the way we're very comfortable that we've maximised the tax situation. At the same time, we tidied up some shares. There was some that she had too much of, we've rebalanced. There was others that weren't performing that we needed to change in the portfolio and also tweak it a bit more for income for her needs in retirement. So that's a bit of a case study. Everyone's situation is different, but you can see there's some key elements there about what do I do with the money, pause, what's my focus, what do I need for retirement, what's the tax implications for this, and how do I maximize my position now. So she's very happy, she's very confident. We've given her some numbers and projections to show that everything's sorted for her. So if your situation's like that, or you want to have a discussion like that, feel free to reach out to us at Financial Edge Group.